Our story begins with Ko Yamori, a normal middle school student. And he has trouble sleeping at night. So he often ventures outside alone at night. One day Yamori received a love letter in school. But he rejected that girl's feelings. Yamori has trouble understanding love. He kept wandering on the streets. Then he sees a vending machine. Yamori thinks of buying a beer despite being underage. But he encountered an unknown person. Yamori tried to run away from him, but he was caught. The person then reveals his face, and it turns out she is a girl. The girl understands Yamori has trouble sleeping, so she believes Yamori is dissatisfied with his life. She takes him to some satisfied sleepy people to make her point. She tells him to release his inhibitions to achieve life satisfaction. Yamori tries to release his inhibitions by talking to them. And it makes him a little sleepy, so the girl takes him to her apartment to sleep. Then she takes off her jacket, and there is only one futon to sleep. Yamori chicken out and tries to run, but the girl manages to make him stay. Yamori was freaking out not because of the unknown place, but because the girl kept staring at him. Seeing no way out, Yamori pretends to be asleep. The girl is a vampire. She comes close to him and starts sucking his blood. She finds his blood sweet. When Yamori wakes up, he finds blood coming out of his neck. The girl deceives him that it was a mosquito bite. But Yamori is not convinced. He suspects she is a vampire. He is afraid he too will become a vampire. The girl clarified he would not become a vampire. Yamori is disappointed that he will not become a vampire. He insists on her to make him a vampire. The girl takes him outside and she explains he has to fall in love with a vampire, and that vampire needs to suck his blood. Only then will he become a vampire. But Yamori has trouble falling in love. He doesn't like girls. Yamori insists the vampire girl turn him into a vampire to fall in love with him. The girl rejected his idea. It was against her policy to create offspring. The girl says her name is Nizuna Nanakusa, and she will never fall in love with him. Then they come on the roof of a building. Nizuna pushed Yamori from the roof. As he was falling, Nizuna came flying and took him in her arms. Then she begins to fly all over the city, giving Yamori the best experience of his life. The next night, Yamori meets with Nizuna. Yamori again insists on her falling in love so he can turn into a vampire. He offers her to suck his blood. Nizuna finds his behavior perverted. She reminds him of the condition that he has to fall in love with her. The next night, Yamori was looking for Nizuna, but he couldn't find her anywhere. When she was about to give up, she suddenly showed up. Yamori was angry at her, but Nizuna was looking for someone to suck blood. Yamori doesn't want her to suck someone else's blood, so he asks her to exchange numbers. But Nizuna doesn't have a mobile. They came to her apartment, and she showed him her cellular phone. But that phone is too huge to carry around. Nizuna gets tired, so she sleeps. And she asks Yamori to join her. He accepted her offer, but he was flustered. Yamori asked her not to suck his blood as he was upset because she was looking for other people to suck. So Nizuna accepts that she is looking for him. Then Yamori allows her to suck his blood. Nizuna starts sucking his sweet, delicious blood. That night Yamori felt relieved that she was looking for him. The next night again Yamori had trouble finding Nizuna. So he bought a wristwatch transceiver for them. Nizuna became excited and wanted to play with them. Then we see Yomori's childhood when bought similar watches. But he had no friends to play with, so he hid the other watch somewhere, hoping someone would find it. Some days after he went to check, the watch was not there. Yamori wanted to call the watch, but for some reason, he decided to wait. Yamori showed Nizuna his transceiver from back then. He gave one transceiver to her. Then they begin the test, and Nizuna flies away from there. Now Yamori has to find her with the help of the transceiver. He pressed the transceiver call button, and it connected to Nizuna's transceiver. They had fun playing with it. Then they come to Yomori's school. Suddenly Nizuna comes close to Yamori and starts sucking his blood. It was delicious. Yamori felt cheated, so he began to tease her. Nizuna became full-on embarrassed. As the day came out, Yamori was going back home. He wondered about his old lost transceiver. Then he heard a voice from his transceiver. It was from his classmate Akira. Yamori was surprised to see the transceiver in her hand. Akira explains he has given this transceiver to her, and she has been waiting for him to make a call. Yamori realizes he had mistakenly left the transceiver at her mailbox. Since then Akira has considered Yamori as his friend. But she was not sure if the feeling was mutual. Yamori realizes it is all a huge misunderstanding, but he cannot do anything about it. Before they part ways, Akira asks him to meet her again. The next night, Yamori begins to leave Nozuna's apartment early. Nozuna jokes that Yamori is seeing another girl. But it freaked him out, and he ran away. Yamori came to meet Akira. Then Yamori notices Nozuna standing behind a tree. Nozuna came out to say hello. She explained her relationship with Yamori as purely physical. Akira thinks they are lovers. This makes Nozuna embarrassed. To show her what their relationship is, she starts sucking his blood before her. Then Nozuna reveals she is a vampire. They come to a restaurant to talk. Akira wonders why Yamori lets her suck his blood. But interestingly, she was more worried about why he was not coming to school. Yamori explained he was not having fun at school, so he stopped coming. Nozuna leaves them alone. But Yamori comes after her. He thinks Nozuna is jealous because of Akira. But she angrily denies it, and she flies away from him. Yamori ran after her but could not catch up with her. After wandering around the city, he heard her voice from the transceiver. Yamori apologizes for making her angry. Nozuna comes back and tells him she is not angry, but she accepts that she is a little jealous of Akira. Suddenly Nozuna pulls Yamori closer and starts sucking blood from his lips. She leaves after doing that. Yamori could not believe they just kissed. The next night Yamori sneaks out of the apartment. He then went to meet Nozuna. She was unusually waiting for him in the park. But Yamori runs away from there. He keeps thinking about yesterday's kiss. Then Yamori sees a couple kissing. He realizes people who love each other do this. Yamori thinks he has already fallen in love with Nozuna, and now he can become a vampire. So when he meets Nozuna, he excitedly invites her to suck his blood. Nozuna feels something is off with him. However, Yamori claims he has successfully fallen in love with her. But when Nozuna sucks his blood, he doesn't turn into a vampire. Yamori wonders why it doesn't work. Nozuna explains that one little kiss doesn't mean he is in love with her. She makes fun of his first kiss and reveals this was her first kiss too. Meanwhile, Akira was in the room. She is having trouble sleeping these days, so she comes outside. Outside she encounters Yamori waiting for her. Yamori notices Akira is going to school at midnight, so he invites her to Nozuna's apartment. While playing games, Akira learns that Yamori and Nozuna have been kissing each other. Akira advises Yamori not to get into a relationship with Nozuna. But Nozuna ignores her comments. They start playing dating video games. Yamori liked a character with huge melons. So Nozuna starts teasing him. And Akira feels relieved that Yamori is not romantically involved with Nozuna. At 4 o'clock, Nozuna feels hungry, so she asks them to sleep with her. But Akira feels this is too weird. Nevertheless, Nozuna starts sucking Yomori's blood. Akira curiously asks why Yamori is letting her suck his blood. Nozuna replies that he wants her to suck his blood. Yamori proudly explains that he wants to become a vampire, and he needs to fall in love with Nozuna for that. Akira finds this is all too weird, but outside it is raining, so she has to stay with them. Yamori asks if she also wants to become a vampire. Akira doesn't want to, but she likes to go to school with him. Akira slowly falls asleep thinking about him. The next night, Nozuna was getting bored at home, so she went to a bathhouse. She handed her transceiver to the reception, and she went inside. However, as the transceiver weeps, she rushes outside. There she meets her loyal, sweet bloodbag Yamori. Yamori learns Nozuna was taking a bath. He notices she has a different hairstyle. His heart starts pounding seeing her new look. Yamori excitedly asks Nozuna to suck his blood. Nozuna without hesitation starts sucking his sweet blood, to the point he becomes exhausted. He wanted to rest in a nearby hotel, but it turned out to be an adult hotel. They spend their time watching TV. After some time they come out. Nozuna recognizes a guy she has sucked blood from before. But this makes Yamori jealous. He thinks Nozuna pretended to sell naughty services to pick up customers. But Nozuna doesn't do that, she has worked as a professional cuddler instead. Yamori was still confused, so she gave him a Thai massage. She gave him a bunch of other massages. Then as she was about to suck his blood, someone rang the doorbell. Nozuna went to check the door. It was a previous customer, Kayasumi Shirakawa. However, Nozuna was feeling tired, so she requested Yamori to give her a massage. Although Yamori didn't want to do it, he agreed when Nozuna promised to reward him with another kiss. Yamori gives Kayasumi a Thai massage. Kayasumi learns Yamori is just a 14-year-old middle schooler, and he always wanders at night. Kayasumi remembers when she was young, she used to come out at night. It made her feel like a private place to express her emotions freely. But now she is just a tired office worker with no fun in her life. Kayasumi's boss calls her to come back to work. She unwillingly stood up to head back to work. Yamori felt her condition was like him, so he insisted that she stay. He even called Nazuna for help. However, Nazuna tossed her outside the window. As she was rapidly falling, they caught her in the air. Even though she just experienced something unnatural, she still cries about getting late for work. So Yamori reveals Nazuna is a vampire, and he wants to become one so he can enjoy nightlife. Kayasumi finds his logic weird. Then Yamori takes her to the middle of the road. This makes her feel free again. However, she still has to go to work. Kayasumi wishes to become a vampire. Yamori promises to turn her into one. The next night, Nazuna was feeling bored. So they went to a nighttime pool party. There 2 boys begin flirting with her. Yamori felt jealous, so he rushed to take his girl away from them. Yamori didn't like other people trying to be friends with her. To lighten up his mood, Nazuna took him to the school pool. Then she revealed her swimsuit and started sucking his blood. The next night, Yamori encounters Kayasumi on the road. She appears stress-free and even got a day off. Kayasumi thanks him for his promise to turn her into a vampire. After she left, it started raining heavily. Yamori took shelter under a bridge. Then he sees a blonde girl turn down a man's offer. The girl notices Yamori, and she approaches him. They begin to chat, and Yamori learns she often pretends to date men for money, because she is bored with her life. Yamori notices she is a schoolgirl, but she thinks he is staring, so she offers Yamori a better look. But Yamori is too young for that kind of thing. Yamori started following the girl. She takes him to a deserted place. However, the girl is a vampire, and she tried to suck his blood. But Nazuna comes running and attacks the other vampire girl. Nazuna warns her to stay away from her prey. The girl accuses Nazuna of breaking the rules by not having offspring with Yamori. The blonde girl tries to kill Yamori, but Nazuna again attacks her to defend him. As the vampire girls fight, another girl grabs Yamori from behind and flies into the sky. That girl takes him to a roof, where he finds 3 more vampire girls waiting for him. One girl asks Yamori to choose one of them to turn him into a vampire. They will kill him if he refuses, since he knows about vampires. The girls introduce themselves as Midori Kohakobi, Nico Hirata, Kabura Honda, and Hatsuko Suzushiro. The blonde girl's name is Sari Kikyu. However, Yamori refused to choose any of them. He still wanted Nazuna Nanakusa. The girls can't believe he rejected popular girls like them for unromantic Nazuna. Nico tries to sweet-talk Yamori into choosing her, nevertheless Yamori still prefers Nazuna. Then Midori tries to trap Yamori with her sweet talks. Nevertheless, Yamori refused her because he doesn't like girls. The girls thought Yamori didn't want to become a vampire, so they reminded him they must kill him. However, Yamori insists on becoming a vampire, therefore he wants to fall in love with Nazuna. Just then Nazuna arrives there, and becomes embarrassed after hearing his love confession. Nazuna wants to take Yamori away from them. However, the girls stop her. They want to know about Nazuna's plans to make Yamori fall in love with her. But Nazuna doesn't have any plans. Kabura tries to flirt with Yamori. This pissed off Nazuna. She threatened to kill her. Nico intervenes to stop them, wanting to know why Nazuna rejects other males but accepts Yamori. Yamori explains they have an agreement. He wants to become a vampire, and Nazuna wants to suck his sweet, delicious blood. The girls accepted their agreement. Yamori promises them to become a vampire. However, the girl explains he has only 1 year to become a vampire. If he fails to do this in a year, he will never become a vampire. Before they leave, Nazuna kisses Yamori in front of everyone. The next day, Yamori meets Akira. He tells her everything about the 1-year time limit. Akira deduces they will kill him if he fails to become a vampire. Yamori realizes how screwed up his situation is. Later that night, Yamori encounters Sari. She asks him about his progress with Nazuna. Yamori replies he hasn't made any progress, he still doesn't understand what love is like. Sari decides to help him develop feelings for Nazuna. The next night, when Yamori meets Nazuna, he asks her for a date. Although Nazuna didn't want to, he kept insisting she go on a date. Nazuna agrees to go with him. He takes her to watch a romantic movie. But this makes her angry. Next he takes her to a cafe. However, Nazuna found out this date was Seri's idea, so she left the date. Yamori couldn't understand why she left him. Later that night, Yamori notices someone outside. He sees Nazuna come to meet him. Nazuna wants to complete their date, so she takes him into the sky. Later, when Yamori was looking for Nazuna, he encountered his childhood friend Mahiru. They went to a park to talk. They talk about their childhood memories. Then Akira joins them. Mahiru received his girlfriend's call, so he left. Then Yamori meets with Nazuna. She saw a couple holding hands, so she held hands with Yamori. Later that night, Yamori and Nazuna met Siri. Nazuna and Siri had a little fight over Yamori. Then Siri left to find her prey. Yamori comes after her. Siri takes him to a karaoke bar. They enjoy their time singing and dancing. But they are interpreted by a man outside. The man kept banging the door, however Siri remained calm. She tells Yamori he is just a crazy fan. Yamori was freaking out, so Siri waved at him, and he disappeared. However, sometime later the guy comes inside the room. Siri got pissed, and she tried to kill him, however Yamori managed to save him. They run away from her, and come to an empty alleyway. Yamori asks about his relationship with Siri. He learns the guy is just a stalker who met Siri by accident. Then Siri found them. She runs towards them to attack, but Nazuna comes there to stop her. The guy begged Nazuna not to harm Siri. He claimed they were good friends. Siri accepts they are friends. However, she never wanted him to fall in love with her and make him her offspring. Yamori called out Siri's hypocrisy. She wants to kill Akin just because he fell in love with her. He urged her to talk it out with him. Siri reveals she also likes him, and she makes him her offspring. Then they went to a karaoke bar to celebrate Siri's new offspring. Later that night, Midori was short on staff for her maid cafe. She encounters Yamori and Nazuna on the way. She asks Nazuna to work as a maid. Because Nazuna has no experience, she practices with Yamori as a customer. Then Yamori meets another cute maid, Arisa. She claims she had the #1 spot here. But Midori took it as soon as she started here. After the work, Midori was posting photos on the store's social media account. There she finds some weird photos of a maid. Yamori believes the girl in the photos is Arisa. Midori asked Yamori to catch the culprit. Yamori was examining the photos. Then Arisa comes there. Yamori believes photos were taken in the changing room from the window. So he and Nazuna come to the balcony to investigate. He took some pictures of Nazuna from the window. Yamori understood everything after seeing her photo. He called Midori in the changing room. When Arisa comes there to change, Yamori and Midori hide inside the locker. Then they see Arisa setting a timer to take selfies. They came out to catch her red-handed. Arisa has to accept her crime. She did all this to become the #1 maid of the cafe. Midori decided to forgive her mistake. The next night, Yamori finds that Nazuna has bought so many things to upgrade the quality of her cuddle buddy business. She sends Yamori outside to find customers. Yamori encounters a lady who looks super tired. He took her to a restaurant to talk about his cuddle buddy services. However, the lady shows no interest. She instead reveals she is a private detective. She inquired about Akin, who had been missing for several days. Yamori lies to her about not knowing him. The lady left the restaurant after giving him her card. The next night, Yamori met with Akira and Mahiru. Mahiru takes them to school. The two boys and a girl went inside the empty school to have fun. Mahiru tells them a story about a teacher who went missing 10 years ago. And there are rumors of him appearing in a classroom at night. They went inside the school to find the rumored teacher. They found the teacher, but now he has become a vampire. He attacks Akira to suck her blood. Yamori becomes terrified, however he manages to hit him with a chair. Yamori couldn't understand why this vampire was different from other vampires. Then the detective lady comes there. The vampire starts losing control, so the lady tempts him into sucking her blood. However, the vampire finds her blood disgusting. Yamori learns that for the past 10 years, he has never sucked blood. Today was the last day of his life, however they showed up and he lost control. The vampire reveals he never wanted to become a vampire. Then the lady gave him a ring, which seemed to have some effect on him. Then the sun came out, and the vampire slowly died in peace. Yamori gets angry at her for killing the vampire. In response, she declared not to let Yamori become a vampire. After that day, Yamori realizes he knows nothing about vampires. He went to meet Nizuna. She was eager to suck his blood. As she got close to him, Yamori pushed her away. He told her what happened yesterday. Nizuna takes him outside to talk. She reveals vampires die if they don't drink blood for 10 years. Nizuna notices Yamori has become unsure about turning into a vampire. Yamori accepted that day he felt scared of vampires. However, now he does not, so he offers her to suck his blood. Without wasting any time, Nizuna starts sucking his blood. Later, Yamori meets with Mahiru. Mahiru asks why he wants to be a vampire. He tries to persuade him to give up his crazy idea. But Yamori could not make any decision. He comes to meet Nizuna. Nizuna wishes to spend the night at Yomori's room. There was no one at home, so they came to his room. Nizuna asks about his desire to become a vampire. Yamori is unsure about it, so he couldn't give her any answer. To help him decide, Nizuna reveals that being a vampire is not fun. In decades of her life, she has never been anything but bored. Nizuna wanted to head back home. However, Yamori tries to stop her, and they end up in an awkward position. Nizuna teases him by licking his neck, and leaves from there. Later that night, Yamori meets with Detective Lady Anko Ogisu. He asks her how she knew about his dream of becoming a vampire. Anko reveals she knows everything about his personal life. Anko believes Yamori will never become a vampire since he has failed to fall in love. She threatens him that other vampires will kill him. However, Yamori doesn't agree with her reasoning. He refused to believe vampires are evil. With frustration, Anko reports Yomori's nighttime activity to the police. Frightened, Yamori rushes back home. He sees a police car coming his way. So Yamori decided to hide in a park. There he encounters Hatsuka. Hatsuka takes him to her home. There she is greeted by her 3 offspring. Hatsuka orders them to leave the house as she is having a guest. Later, as Hatsuka is taking a bath, Yamori learns he is a guy. Meanwhile, Nizuna comes to meet other vampires. She tells them Yamori doesn't want to become a vampire anymore. She asks them not to kill him. However, this makes Nico furious. She wants to kill Yamori to solve everything. Meanwhile, Yamori explains everything that happened to him that day. Hatsuka feels something is off with Anko's blood. Then he received a message from Nico about their fight with Nizuna. Hatsuka tells him Nizuna could be in real danger. He offers Yamori to make him a vampire, and Nizuna won't have to face the consequences of her actions. Yamori doesn't think he can fall in love with him. However, Hatsuka has a trick on his hand. He will manipulate Yomori's mind into thinking he loves him. But Yamori doesn't think it is a good idea. He only wants to fall in love with Nizuna. Yamori rushes outside to meet Nizuna. However, when he arrives there, Nizuna has already left. Yamori becomes worried about Nizuna. He rushed towards her apartment. But he encounters some cops on the bridge. So he jumped from the bridge to escape them. Yamori searches for her all over the town. And he finds her at the same vending machine where they first met. Nizuna tries to avoid him. So Yamori tells her he has fun with her. Nizuna also accepts that she has fun with him. Yamori grabbed Nizuna in excitement, and declared he would fall in love with her. Then Nizuna kissed him. And they decided to live together forever. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe.